Welcome everyone to the Schedaero webinar. We are super excited to be with you all today. Today we're going to be introducing some new features to the Schedaero platform. We've been working really hard over the last 2 years to make sure that we deliver features and functionality that's going to help our pilots, chief pilots, and operations team. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and introduce the team who's going to be co-hosting with me today. So the first person I'd like to introduce is my colleague, Sandro. Hi, Sandro. How's it going?
Hi, Dana. Thank you for having me.
Oh, so happy to have you here. So Sandro is a former airline pilot. He's also a flight instructor, and he's also part of the implementation team. So he's going to be making sure that we get up and running and pretty smoothly here with all these new features. The next person that I'd like to also introduce is my colleague, John Hibbard. Hi, John.
Hey, hello, everyone. I'm very excited to be here today.
Awesome. Thank you for being here as well. So John is the one that makes sure that, all of your feedback gets put into, product development. He has over 20 years of product manager experience. So he's been making sure we're staying very focused over the last 2 years on delivering these features that we're going to introduce to you all today. So with that being said, John, I know we've got a lot to cover. So why don't you go ahead and, introduce what the agenda will be for today.
Yeah, absolutely. So really excited to be here today to introduce a lot of new functionality that we have released. We're going to be talking about crew scheduling, which is a big release for us, and we're really excited for you guys to see it. We're going to have some new duty logging, and I'll explain when we get to that section of why we create new logging. We're also going to show you the expense reporting that we have created in the iOS app and how easy it is for pilots to record expenses. And lastly, we're going to preview a new feature that I'm absolutely really excited about. It's a duty dashboard, and it brings together all of the live information in our system, making it easy for you to see availability of pilots. So really excited to get started here. Let's get it going.
Awesome. So, Sandro, let's go ahead and kick off with our first release that we're going to introduce to everybody, which is the crew scheduling release. So everyone get your coffee, get comfortable. We're going to spend a few minutes reviewing this with you all today. And then afterwards, we're going to have a short discussion on some key takeaways. So Sandro, I'll go ahead and pass the floor to you.
Awesome. So like I used to say in the days at least, ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck, let's get ready, buckle up, and let's go. Awesome. Let's get this party started. Welcome to our crew calendar. To be able to access our crew calendar, we're going to select People, Schedule. On the left, you're going to be able to see your basic pilot information, such as first and last name, airport home base, and their piloting command qualifications. Next, you're going to be able to see their count of scheduled rest periods in the specific calendar quarter per the FAA requirements. Now let's go to the settings option, and you're going to be able to customize a specific time zone for this calendar. In addition, you're going to be able to color code each specific event type. These event types can be completely modified per your operations on the setting page. Now I'm going to put my hat of my chief pilot. I'm going to select some of my pilots and I'm going to schedule them for the next month. Let's go. So I'm going to go to the month of November. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select for my first 4 pilots, I'm going to give them a training event. So we're going to go to Add Event and select the specific event, which will be training. We'll add the specific date, Monday 9th, and I'm going to put 08 a.m. to 1600 and the same day. Then we're going to select the pilots that we're going to choose, which are my first 4 pilots. And then we're going to add some notes. We'll add hazmat training events, conference room B, and coffee and muffins will be served. So now I'm going to select John, which is a second in command, and I'm going to select Sandro, who's IPIC. I'm going to put them together and give them their specific monthly schedule. The first thing I'm going to do as a chief pilot probably is I'm going to see how my operation is going. So I'm going to filter by a specific type. So let's see how many of my pilots have legal rest days. Okay, so I have a good amount of pilots have a rest day. Let's see how of them are going to be out in training. So we'll take out the rest day, and I see, okay, I have a couple of my pilots are going for training. That's perfect. So then we're going to go and we're going to choose a specific pilots, which will be Sandro and John. Awesome. So the first thing I'm going to give them, I'm an awesome chief pilot, so I want my crew to be rested. So I'm going to give them 5 days of rest straight. I'm going to go event, select the specific event. Then I'm going to go for the specific date, which will be the 1st. We're going to select all day, all the way to the 5th. We're going to select both of my pilots since I'm going to schedule them together. I'm going to put rest, select save. And that's where we're going to be able to see that my pilots will be on rest from the 1st to the 5th. Then let's say from the 6th, I can also select in the box. I'm going to give them a specific assignment which will be reserved for the whole next 5 days. And we're going to select both pilots. You can add any notes and then save. Awesome. So let's go back and let's see my whole operations. Now, this is my whole operations. However, we can filter them and we can schedule them by aircraft. So let's say that I want to schedule 2 of my pilots or all my pilots who are in charge of flying the SAP 340. So what we're going to do is we're going to select aircraft, and then we're going to select the fleet November 7786 Sierra Alpha. This gives me the option to see all my pilots for that specific aircraft and be able to schedule them accordingly. Now let's go back to the main calendar. I'm going to show you guys how important this information is. By each event that you add to each specific pilot, the awesome thing is that they're going to be able to see all the events on their Schedaero crew application. So there's no more need for them to go to the website and be able to log in. They'll be able to see everything from a solution from their fingertips. They're going to be able to see all that information on their Schedaero crew app. Now, it's important to say that you're going to be able to give permissions and access and restrictions to each specific user in Schedaero. So if you want only a group of people to be able to see this calendar, you're going to be able to do that. However, if you want to see your whole operations team to be able to see this calendar for your crews, they also will be able to see that. So it's a great way to be able to see information on a broader way. Now let's go to the fun part and let's see how the events look on the Schedaero crew app. Let's go! Awesome, so we just saw the coolest part, which is the crew calendar for our crew scheduling. Now it's time to see for our pilots how it's so easy and how it's so nice. So let's go and see how it will look on the Schedaero crew application. So all the events that we have scheduled, like let's say I was a chief pilot and I scheduled some training events, some reserve days, all those events that I've made, they're gonna be directly in the Schedaero crew app of each specific pilot. And like I showed you guys, when we created a training session, we were able to add like notes, specific times. So instead of having to go finish your flight, land, go to the FBO, try to find a computer, maybe there's Wi-Fi, maybe there is not, and then having to see if you can see what you're going to do tomorrow. No, we're done with that. Now what we have here is you just open your phone, and as soon as you're going to be able to see all your calendar for the whole month. And even if your chief pilot schedules you for the next 2 months, you'll be able to see that. So everything is on the Schedaero crew app with all that information. You're going to be able to see the start time of the event, the end time, and all specific notes. So I think it's a great feature that we've added.
Awesome. Thank you for that review, Sandro. So I just want to kind of take a moment to just talk about some of the key features and takeaways here, because this is going to be a change of behavior on how pilots manage their crew, right? So today we have the main calendar in Schedaero, and now they're going to be able to use a separate, new calendar, which is what we're introducing today, the crew calendar. We also did a beta period over the summer with our customers. And so, just from, our conversations that we had with our beta customers, what was some of the, the key, what was helpful for them when using the crew calendar? Could you kind of talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, awesome. So I just want to say thank you so much to all our beta testers. It was a fun experience to test with them, learn about how they do their features and get their feedback. Without them, we wouldn't be here. So thank you so much for that. But I think that the big game changer here is that it helps you to see your whole operations, from your charter salespeople to your pilots to everyone that wants to see how your pilots are actually scheduled, when are they available, when are they not. It just gives you a whole sense of everyone being on the same page.
Yeah, so the pain point that I'm hearing here is creating visibility with the pilots, right? Knowing when they're actually available and kind of removing the guessing, out of that equation. And then I'm also, with it being in the mobile app, I'm also hearing that another pain point was the fact that pilots would have to log into a computer to see their schedule, right?
I mean, yeah,
who wants crazy. They're flying and they have to log into a computer. So
who wants to go to land, try to find the FBO? Maybe the computer is busy and stuff like that. Now, as soon as you land, you turn your phone and you know what's going to happen for the next month. It's just game changer. It's awesome. Exactly. I'm super excited about it.
No, I can definitely see where it's going to be a time saver as well. And so, John, I just want to kind of bring you into the conversation. Hopefully your technology is
yes.
All right, awesome, good. And so, with every beta period, we always get feedback from our customers, right? And so do we plan on adding any enhancements to the crew scheduling on top of what we're already introducing for today?
Yes, we do. And first, thank you so much to our beta customers. I mean, you help make this product so much better. So, call out to all of you. And we couldn't do this without you. So the biggest piece of feedback we received from our beta customers was, one, can you please integrate the crew schedule into the current calendars? By far, that's the most requested enhancement that we've received, and we've actually kicked that off. So we've started work on it, and stay tuned. More will be coming out about when that will be available to everyone. The next one is that it's great that we can schedule the pilots. Now can we schedule other crew like flight attendants? So we're going to be kicking off a project to do that as well. And there's a lot of smaller enhancements that have been requested. And whenever they come in, we look at them, we prioritize them, and we try to add to the product. So keep the great feedback coming. It really helps.
Awesome, good. And it's good to recap, how the feedback process works as well. Okay, so let's move along to our second release that we're going to be introducing to you folks today. And that is around duty logging. So we know in Scheadero, we have the capacity to log duty events today. So this one, John, I kind of wanted to pass to you. What's the reason for change? Like, why are we changing the current duty process?
Well, the biggest reason for changing it is because we have crew scheduling now. So duty logging, as we had released it, was kind of a combined solution. It had the duty logging, but it had events in there. We called them the duty events. So now we've actually pulled that out and we've really simplified duty. And we actually went out and we talked to a lot of our operators, but we even went a step further and we went and talked to the FAA and several POIs in several regions to really understand what is the reg, how do we interpret this, and how do we make sure that we get this right. And so that's what we've done. So I think everybody that is currently doing duty with us, once you understand how duty is going to work going forward, you're going to get really excited about it. The other thing, besides it being much simpler for the pilot, is we're going to be having the information flow in real time through the system. So when we show you the duty dashboard, when a pilot comes on duty, you're going to be able to see that in charter sales. You're going to see it in ops. So I think it's going to be pretty fantastic.
Great. So let's go ahead and take a preview of what the duty release is going to look like. And then let's have a short discussion on some key takeaways and best processes for, moving forward as well. So Sandro, I'll go ahead and let you provide a demo for the team.
Awesome. Let's go. I'm super excited. This one it's so cool. So I'm going to show up you guys one video really quick. I'm going to go step by step of how we do. So the first thing we're going to do, as on our previous duty logging, is we're going to select log duty. However, as soon as you select log duty, automatically it's going to capture the time that you selected. So no more double inputting, no more time to do that. Then you select save. After selecting save, you're going to see a dashboard where it actually shows that your duty is in progress. It's going to show you when it's going to expire after the 14 hours. And then once you're done and you complete it, you'll select stop, or you could select edit duty. After doing that, it's going to actually show you an end duty button. And then once you select the end duty button, automatically captures the specific end time. No more time to put scrolling down, putting those buttons, and you select save. So it's super, super simple. It helps the pilot way easier. So now let's see how it looks on the web. Awesome. So in this first slide, let's say that we selected log duty. The first thing that you do when you select log duty, it's going to show you specifically the time that you selected the button. So no more time. You don't have to input the time. It just automatically captures that specific time, which I think is awesome. Now, then you could actually add a note, or you just select log duty and it's going to show you and it's going to save. After that, in the next picture, you're going to be able to see on the next slide, you're going to be able to see the specific of that duty, you know. So as a chief pilot, right, director of operations, you want to make sure and you want to be able to see what your team is doing, right, if they're on duty or where they are, and all that stuff. So it's a clear way of being able to see that you are on duty. So we have different statuses. We have the status that it's on duty, on blue, on light blue, and then if your status has been completed, it will show you a green completed. Now let's go on the next picture, and I'm going to show you guys how it looks now compared to how it looked before. So it's super more simple and more clean. You're going to be able to see your date information, then the status, as I mentioned, 3 status, which will be complete, incomplete, or status, or on duty. Then you're going to be able to see your start time, your end time, your total time of duty. However, if you had any assigned flights, you're also going to be able to see your total flying time, and then any flights assigned to you, you're going to be able to see that. So in this way, we're going to be able to see all that information more concise, more clean, and in a more nicer way. However, it's important to say, let's say that you guys forget to do something, right? It happens to me. I've forgotten so many times to log my duty. I had to go back and do that on paper, right? But now with this, you can just select on the specific date and correct it. There's no problem with that. We give you that facility of doing that.
And Sandro, I think it's good that you called out that, you know, you can make changes, you know, to the duty after it's initially been added, right? This was feedback that we actually received during the beta period, and we, you know, made those changes to the duty application so that it can accommodate this type of situation, which we learn pretty frequently, right? And so we've introduced, you know, now that you can log duty on the mobile app, we're also introducing a new duty page in the desktop. You know, if you were to provide some guidance on, you know, what is the best workflow on how to start using the duty, what would you recommend to our team members and users today?
Yeah, awesome. So for all my pilot friends, right, we know we're always in a rush. We're running checklists. We're making sure that the airplane is good, especially we're making sure catering is, the bags are there. So that it's so easy that you're just driving. Maybe you get to the airport, select the button. No more timing input, anything there. After that, you forget about it. You're done, you know? And then once you're done, at the end of the day, because we know we want to go to the bar, right? After a long day of hard work, we want to get a beer for sure. So you'll just select stop and end duty, and you're done. No more having to go to the hangar and having to write the information and stuff like that. And then the cool thing is that your chief pilot, your director of operations, they're going to know that information as soon as you select that button. So I think it's awesome.
Gotcha. No, it's good to, you know, just recommunicate that as well. And so, John, I just want to kind of bring you into the conversation because, you know, we talk about, oh, we have an app and now we have duty in the app. And so we make it seem like it's so easy to do. And we know that's not the case, right? And a lot goes on behind the scenes. So when you were working on this, what was like a key design that you wanted to make sure that, you know, our users had going forward?
Yeah, you bet. Before I answer that, though, I do want to give a shout out to the Scheadero team. The engineering, product, UX team has been working tirelessly for the last year to get these features, you know, where they are today. So a big shout out to all of you. Great job. Keep up the good work. Simplicity. Simplicity is really the guiding factor here. You know, the number one thing that we've heard over and over again from chief pilots is make it as easy as possible for our pilots. You know, they have a lot on their plate. So if you can simplify their workflow, do that. So I think that is the guiding principle that we use from a UX perspective all the way through the engineering. It's just how do we make this as simple as possible? One other thing I do want to call out on the duty so that everybody knows, those that are currently duty logging, that still is available. As you if you look up here on the bar there, you'll see the duty log is the current duty that's out. The duty logs is the new duty. So we will work with you to migrate at your, you know, when you're ready to do it. So I just want to state that. So
exactly. Yep. So that'll definitely be something that Sandro and myself will be working with you all on and making sure that you feel comfortable with this new process and that you have the right reporting and all of that moving forward as well. Okay, so we've covered a lot. We introduced crew scheduling. We talked about duty logging. So let's just take a quick pause. We would like to take a poll. And so we're curious to know, how do you all manage your crew schedule today? So you know, is it a whiteboard? Is it Excel? Is it the main calendar? So I kind of have some guesses that I think the whiteboard is still pretty heavily used, but nonetheless, let's go ahead and throw it out to the group here.
I could tell you from my previous experience, the whiteboard is a good old one. And then the Excel, it's always competitive right there. So Let's see what our customers say.
The whiteboard's so risky though. I mean, you know, you get anybody that touches it and it's gone. Gotta take a picture, I guess.
Well, sometimes you just go, you know, and change the day for the next day off, and you forget about it, and you just keep going.
That's true. You
Maybe.
do have a little more control, right, of your schedule that way. Okay, so it looks like I'm gonna go ahead and end the poll here. Hopefully you all can see some of the results, but it looks like, oh, it's still kind of going. Do I do it?
It's moving. Let's
All
give
right,
it
I'll give
30
it.
more
I'll give it
seconds.
another 5 more seconds. I'm not gonna be click happy. I'll let it roll.
I see the whiteboard's losing.
The whiteboard is losing. I am
Wow. Excel's picking up though.
Okay, I think this is a good time. So let's go ahead and hit end poll. And it looks like the SA main calendar is the winner. So we will have to be working with you all on, you know, changing this this workflow here for you all. So, which is great. Okay, awesome. Thank you all for participating in that. Okay, so let's move along to our next release, which is expense reporting. So I know this is something that I have personally heard over the last few years, you know, which is allowing our pilots to be able to log their expenses in the app. Some of them may lose some receipts from time to time, right, Sandro? So why don't you, let's go ahead and let's do a quick preview of what this is gonna look like, and let's talk about it.
So to all my pilot friends, I know the feeling of having a 5-day trip and then just having a huge wallet with receipts. You know, I've been there, so I understand. And this is a game changer. So on the left picture, I'm going to show you guys how to exactly expense report with our new feature on the Scheadero Crew app. So the first thing, once you get into a flight assigned and any leg assignment, you're going to be able to select a specific expense. So you see there you have the flight logs information, your aircraft. Remember though, on our Scheadero Crew application, we have all that information. So itinerary, we have crew information, food, anything you want on that application. So it's great if you guys are not using it right now. So let's go deep into it. On the expenses, the first thing you're going to be able to see is your trip number on the picture on the left, and then you're going to be able to see the different currencies, correct? Now, as soon as you want to add an expense or go into in depth of that trip expense, you're gonna see in the second picture where you're gonna be able to see the FBO information, the crew, anything that you add as an expense. But here's gonna be your main summary of expenses for a specific trip. Now, you guys say on the top right, it says multiple currencies, right? So in Scheadero, we allow you to add different currencies for the specific expense. In this case, you're gonna see a little different, right, between where it says FBO fees and crew pay. There's a reason, because under next to crew pay, you're gonna be able to see there's a little image, right? That means that there's a receipt. And I'm gonna tell you how to show that. Now we're gonna select add expense, where you see on that little blue button, the same as we log duty, and it's gonna show you a new expense, and then it's gonna show you the trip number. Then you can actually add a receipt by taking a picture or uploading a picture that you have already taken. Super simple. Then you're going to be able to select the category, the total, the currency, any type of currency that you want, and then the specific date, aircraft, and trip number. However, we have some optional features too, like you could add airport information, vendor information, payment type, and who paid it. And obviously, you can also add some specific notes. So this is game changer. I love it.
So Sandro, no more excuses, right? You and your pilot friends, no more excuses. You got to log your expenses now.
Yep. It is game changer.
Absolutely. And so, John, just because I knew you were pretty involved in making sure that this was, you know, added to the application, what were you trying to accomplish with adding expenses to the app?
Well, the biggest thing that we heard from the operators, and especially the accounting departments, was we need to be able to tie the expenses to a trip ID. So that's what's really accomplished here. That's why this is so powerful, because every expense is tied to a trip ID, and so that when accounting gets hold of it, they know how to invoice and to itemize the expenses. The second guiding philosophy here was make it as fast and easy as possible for that pilot to record this. So, you know, literally they can upload the receipt, put the total in, hit save, it's tied to the trip. All that information gets sent over to the web app, and then accounting can work it from there. If they can itemize, they can do everything from there. So I think that those were really the two biggest things that we did here. So we're excited that this is out there. The beta customers have been super helpful in helping us refine it. We think it's really, it's ready for prime time.
Great. And we can't wait to get that up to our users as well. So I also just want to, we see questions coming in, so keep them coming. We are going to spend some time towards the end of the webinar going over your questions. So thank you for sending those to us. So we're kind of winding down a little bit, but we've got maybe one other item to introduce to you all today, which I know John is super excited about, which is the duty dashboard. So I'm going to let you talk all about this, and
awesome.
We'll think afterwards.
Awesome. So this is something that I am pretty excited to reveal to you. So this is still in development. What I'm going to actually show you is where we are in development, which is a rarity sometimes to see behind the curtain. But I just want to guide you through what we've developed here. So before I do, where this came from was as I was visiting operators at the end of last year and earlier this year, I noticed when I went into the ops center, I could see whiteboards. I could see different ways of trying to keep track of where the pilots were, what flights they were on, had they come on duty, how much time they had left, what their total flight time was. And so as I was talking with each of them, I started to think about how could we combine this into one dashboard so that we could show everybody. And luckily enough too, I want to make a shout out to Genesis because she's one of our people that works with onboarding as well. And she has years of experience in charter sales. So she also helped refine this. So she deserves some credit here. So without further ado, let's give you a sneak peek of what is going to be coming sometime in the fourth quarter here. So go on to the next screen here. Perfect. So this is what we're calling the duty dashboard. And essentially what we're doing here is we're trying to pull in as much information as possible to make it as easy for charter sales or ops to see what pilots might be available. So what this does is, as Sandro was explaining how easy it is with duty to click on duty and off duty, once a pilot clicks on duty and you come to this screen here, you'll be able to see that the pilot has started their duty. We're also going to show you a projected end of duty, so going out 14 hours. The next line here is the projected flight time. So what we're doing here is we're actually calculating for that day how much flights that they have scheduled for, and we're going to give you that projected flight time. As you can see, the Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday here. So for this duty dashboard, Tuesday is the current date. That is today. So what we're showing here with these 3 days is we're showing you the current day on Tuesday, what the scheduled events are for the pilots, if they have some, if they're scheduled off, all of that information's here. We also show you the stuff from the day before. So we'll show you what they were scheduled for, we'll show you their flights, and we'll show you the city pairs. So maybe they're not even at home base, so they're not available for a mission today. And then we're also going to show you the next day, because what we did here from charter sales was sometimes they have, they find some pilots, they put them on a last minute trip for the day, and then they blow up a trip the next day that was a high margin trip, and then they can't recover from it. They can't find the pilots to fly it. So this is what we're hoping for, and we're pretty excited about this. What doesn't appear here, but will be here, is similar to the crew schedule. We're going to have the ability to filter. So if you have a larger operation, you'll be able to filter on the aircraft, on the pilots, and you'll be able to quickly find the information. So we're super, super excited. We've been showing this to operators as we've been developing it. We've been getting a lot of great feedback. So we hope this will become a really valuable tool for the charter sales and ops people going forward. So excited, we'll be excited to get this out there.
Yes, and I know we are super anxious to get this out to our members as well, right? Because we know how valuable this is going to be, this information is going to be, and helping them make those last minute decisions when scheduling their crew for upcoming flights as well. Okay, so Sandra, I'm going to bring you into the conversation as well. So we've introduced a lot today. We've introduced crew scheduling in the app and on the desktop. We've introduced duty logging real time in the app and on the desktop as well. We've talked about expense reporting. So again, no more excuses. You got to log your expenses. And then we've also just previewed, the duty dashboard, and you can just look at it and see the value that this is going to bring to the teams here. So with that being said, I just wanted to take another poll, because we've introduced a lot today, to see, what features you're most excited about that we're introducing for today. I have some suspicions. But it's good. Let's just let's talk it out and see what that looks like. So let me go ahead and go to the poll, and let's get that started.
I have to think mine. What's yours, John? Oh, this is hard.
I'm hoping it's the duty dashboard, but I have a feeling expenses is going to be pretty popular. You know, having talked to so many operators wanting that functionality, I think that's gonna rise up.
Let me see mine. The crew scheduling,
I
the
think yours
duty
has to be the
logging,
duty log.
the expense all of them. I'm sorry. Yeah, I can't. It's just all of them. Sorry.
Well, you have it. I guess you have a personal perspective, right? You can relate to all of the features that we're rolling out today.
Yeah, all of them are awesome.
Awesome. Okay, so actually, expense report is coming in at 45%. And
to be fair, Dana, I think my pilot's friends are gonna say expense report because I'm saving them like a good 50 minutes for them to go to the bar, you know, go have fun after. Because I've been there, so I could tell you that I would know that they would say expense reporting for sure.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so it looks like, so let me go ahead and end the poll here. And yep, and it looks like expense reporting is coming in at 44%, and then all of them at 33%. So that's great. It's good to hear. We had, you know, like I said, we had our suspicions, but we definitely thought it's good to confirm. All right, so now let's go ahead. We're going to wind down a little bit, and we're going to take some time to go over some of your questions that you've been sending in through the chat here. So no pressure, Sandro and John here. So let me just scan through some of them really quick. Okay, so here's one from Stephanie. Hi, Stephanie. Sandro and John, is there a method of approving duty time extensions? Sorry, there's like no prep on this. And will it allow for an override? And who in the system has approval to permit an override? So let me know if you need me to repeat that.
Let me take the extension part, and then John can go on the other side. Something for my Schedaero friends, I'm gonna tell you is we are working, and it's almost done, on the 135.267 rules, right? Your 10 hours of duty, your 10 hours of flight time, 8 hours if you're one crew, and then the 14-hour duty time, and then followed by the 10-hour rest period. We are taking that into consideration with our crew scheduling. So it's coming, and it's going to be a game changer. John, you can go for it on the hard one.
Yeah. So as far as the restrictions go, so we are going to have the ability once we get crew assignments. So one of the features that will be coming out here in November is crew assignments, and essentially what it's going to do is it's going to look at their duty and their flight stuff, and if they're not available, they won't be able to be assigned. So that's one way to meet the compliance for duty for assigning pilots. I think your question was aimed towards, you know, can you override it in the system? So we're building out those compliance features. We're just releasing verify for flight logs. So we've got some of those in place, and as we continue in 2021, we'll be focused on building more compliance-like features. But to the specific of that, we have ways of locking it down, and Sandro, when he talks to you directly, can walk you through that. But it's not full compliance yet. But we're aware of it, and we're working towards it.
Okay, great.
Thanks for the question. Great question.
Yeah, that was a good question. Okay, so here's another one from Sheldon, kind of going back to the crew calendar here. So can I see the crew calendar as an admin in the app? Example, if a trip pops up, can I see who is on the reserve on my app? So I think this is the chief pilot view, maybe. Or yeah, because he says as a crew calendar as an admin in the app. So if a trip pops up, can I see who is on the reserve on my app? So probably more of an overview.
Yeah, so right now we're finishing out all of the pilot features. So what's coming next in the app is there's some more flight logging features that are gonna be coming out. We're gonna start handling diversion, holds, and a few other things that'll be coming. So once we get all of the main pilot features built out, then we're gonna come back and we're gonna start working with the chief pilots, because we know a lot of you chief pilots, you're flying too, you know, and so having access to things while you're on the road is really key. So we'll be working with you to understand what the requirements of, you know, that sort of admin view or chief pilot view would be. So definitely something that we are considering for the future.
Okay, great. Okay, so we'll take a few more here. So the next one I have here is, how can the charter sales team use the crew schedule and duty log to be more efficient? So I know we've been talking a lot from the pilot's perspective and chief pilot's perspective, but how can our charter sales team folks out there use the crew calendar and duty dashboard and duty log? Any
So
takers?
you want me to take that? Yeah, I can take that. So the duty dashboard is going to be one of those tools that I think that you're going to find brings all that information together. And that's why we're developing it. So that'll be the first place that I would tell you to go. We're also integrating the crew schedule into the current calendar, so you'll be able to see that in the calendars, however you set it up. That information will flow in there, so you'll be able to use it there. And the duty, it depends on how they lock things down. So if your Scheadero is pretty open and you can get to the duty pages or to the crew schedule page where they actually schedule, you'd be able to see it there. But I think our preferred method would be to lock it down and have you use the calendars and the duty dashboard to see all that information, because that's essentially what we wanted to do. Is we wanted to make the information available to you without compromising the actual integrity of the schedule, making sure it's locked down to only the people that you want to be able to schedule.
Absolutely.
Good question, though.
Yep. And then Sandro, I think this one's for you, but will Scheadero calculate the 135 flight and duty requirements so that they don't exceed them?
Yes, like we mentioned, we're working on it. It's gonna come exactly as the FAR say it, and I'm super excited about them. So it is coming. It's pretty close. John can tell you exactly how close, but we are working on it currently.
Okay, great. Okay, I think that wraps up the webinar for today. So again, so what happens after here is you're going to receive a copy of the webinar. So regardless if you're able to make it or if you had to pop in and out, you're going to get a recording. You're also going to get an email from the Scheadero team and we're going to ask you, do you want to be onboarded on these features? So go ahead and make sure you fill out that form, and then someone, Sandro or myself or Genesis or anybody from our, implementation team will be reaching out over the next week and working with you to, find some dates to get you all onboarded on these features as well. So thank you all very much for your time today. We know you all are super busy. We hope you are excited about these features, and we look forward to working with you all, in the very, very soon future on these features and getting you up and running. So thank you all for your time and have a great day.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Cheers.
you. Bye-bye.